You know, it's a nice day, man. Summer day. I don't know how you're wearing that jacket, man. It's hot. I was driving out here. I was sweating, bro. Damn, this guy. Maybe you're just you know, got the heat in you for real.
No, I love the heat, but at the same time, don't be fooled, man. It's for the cameras.
I know you drenched in that. Oh man, dope, bro. So, my first question for you, man. Let's get into it, bro. Sovereignty, bro. But before we get into that, who is Walaa? You know, where are you from? How was your upbringing like? How did it shape you?
So, who's Walaa? Well, I'm a human like anybody else. So that means I'm always evolving and changing into the man and the person that I'm constantly going to be and becoming.
Right.
So, but how have I come to this point? I honestly was raised all around the world. You know what I mean? From country to country, place to place. So I really regard myself as a citizen of the world. I really do. And I've lived with a lot of cultures, different religions, different languages, different ways of life, just naturally growing up. So I always felt, you know, when you're that young and you're growing up, you don't have enough time to see the borders, right? It looks like it's just one world and we're all just one. And it was just my experience. And so that's kind of, you know, what shaped my worldview, you know what I mean? And just humanity and life, and really was raised by life in that sense. And so what does that make of me? It makes me a person who always see things from outside in.
Right.
So because, you know, when you're constantly on the move, you don't have enough time to be integrated and have that sense of community, that sense of belonging, or even that identity. Right. That I belong to this group of people or this group of religion or way of being or a sense of pride and nationality. All of that does not make sense to me.
Right.
So I feel like I'm always an outsider looking in, and it gives me a unique perspective where I could always see things for what it is, but at the same time, I'm still connected to the childlike nature, which is the part that allows you to see things for what you want them to be. So I have a pretty fair balance between that. And so there's pros and cons and everything. The pros is that you have a broader perspective on things, and it's more of an impersonal experience. Right. Whereas the cons of that is you're not easily accepted because you're always a stranger. It's who is this guy? And it's a little bit odd, maybe the way you talk, the way you see things. And so it's always like, we don't know who he is. And I'm not sure I want to be, you know.
It like intimidates people.
It could intimidate people because it's unpredictable. It's different. It's, you know, we if you're not known, like if you grow up, if you have somebody who grew up in the whole community with people that they've known for 15 years, he can't do wrong in their eye. It's like we know that guy and he's cool and we that, you know. There's that understanding of that person. But when you didn't have that, there's always that guard and that.
That's right.
Because you're always that guy who's not known as like, who is he? But you're always on the move, you're trying to connect. And so.
That's right.
Yeah.
Man, that's a beautiful response, bro. I wasn't expecting that. That's nice, man. I would definitely love to get more into that, but you know, I got more questions for you. When did you realize music was more than just something you enjoyed? When was it something that you knew it was like a purpose for you? It was like something that you wanted to pursue?
Music came into my life at a young age. So, long story short, before even singing or writing or all that, it was dancing. It was when I was 4.5 years old, and the first performance I ever did was the Michael Jackson performance, and was the soccer stadium.
Wow.
Yeah, with my brother too. Wow. And so we trained that, and that was the first time I was ever on stage. So it was through Michael Jackson, man. Like it was his music that moved through my body. And so before I could sing it, before I could state it, I felt it through that man, you know?
Wow.
And fast forward, when I was 9, I, kept on dancing and evolving with that. And then that's when I got into actually writing music, because my cousin actually told me, he's like, what do you want to do when you get older? Right. And I said, I want to be a simple man. I'm going to be just like Michael Jackson. And then he laughed at me. He's like, man, man, you're not gonna be no Michael.
yeah.
And I was 9, you know.
Where
so
you ain't moonwalking out here. Like,
no, I can moonwalk still, you know. And then I was upset, you know, because I'm a kid, you know. And he's like, no, but ask me why. Right. And I'm like, man, I don't want to ask you why. He's like, no, ask me why. I'm like, why? He's like, what did Michael Jackson do? I'm like, well, Michael Jackson, he danced like me. He's like, first of all, he's like, you're the one dancing like Michael. I'm like, yeah, man, same difference, you know? He's like, no, it's not that. You're missing my point. He's like, Michael didn't only dance. He's like, he sung. He had a message. He was saying something, and people, he would move people with what he says and how he says it. I'm like, oh. He's like, so I'm like, what are you saying? He's like, I'm saying if you want to do that, along with your dancing, you got to learn to sing. And then I said, well, I don't know how to sing. He's like, well, then you got to learn to rap.
Oh, damn.
So he taught me, you know, rhythm and poetry, right? And I started off with that, and he was like, all right. And then he would every time see me trying to bring out, you know, melodically trying to say it. And he's like, you know what, man, maybe you should eventually, you know, transition into the singing. And I was like, yeah. So when I got into all of that, I started, you know, going through that journey of self-discovery and growing in with it. And it was only until, I would say, about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, that I decided that this is a calling I got to respond to, especially because that same cousin passed away, BK.
BK, yeah.
And my brother then passed away too. So then it was just put me in a place, you know. And like I said, because I didn't grow up with so many, you know, homies around me that close, because I was moving around in that, right? I got friends in that, but like they're all in different places. And
that's right.
But, you know, I'm trying to say, like, your tribe. And when those, you know, they pass away, it makes you question, you know, like, what are you doing? What's important?
Right.
And that was the time where I said, I'm going to take this thing serious and start sharing it publicly and bring a message forth. But that does not mean that music is my purpose. But that's the distinction I'll make. Music is a gift, you can say. And not that I was born talented. That's the truth. Like, it's not like I was born with a great voice and whatever and all that. I just had the passion for it. I had the love for it. It was seeded within me as a young child, you know? But because of that love for it, I knew if I could take it serious enough to discipline myself and look at it as a craft and as a medium of self-development, and as a spiritual practice as well, because, you know, when you're grieving and you're going through all of that, there's just so much bundled up from within, and it was a great method to just like use that as a medium to channel what you feel and to connect to God, and then to truly allow something pure to come out. And then I felt that liberating, and I said, oh, okay, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is what I'm going to do. And then I was like, I take that as a calling, but not necessarily my purpose. You know what I mean? My purpose is to honestly make the world a better place and to heal and to enhance things, you know, to always, in any situation that you're in, is to leave it in a better condition than what you found it in. And that goes from the smallest thing to the biggest thing. And that's my life's purpose. And I believe that's any human being's purpose, is to evolve, to enhance and to become better. Now, if you have more money and more power, more influence, more knowledge, whatever means you have, you use that and that field and that department to contribute that enhancement to that environment or situation or whatever.
That's right.
But so I would look at it as a gift in the sense that it was seeded as a passion. And then the purpose is something else. But I've seen it more than just empty sounds, and more like a language. I've come to, by doing it for over 25 years, I started to understand the language, the emotional language, how you can speak through sound. Yes. And then your emotion. And that was the journey.
That's right.
That answers.
That's a beautiful answer, man. You know, and I guess that kind of goes into your album, where it's like, I listened to it like more than a couple of times, just repeatedly. I was at the gym, I was driving, anywhere I could possibly listen to it. Even if I'm alone in my room, I'm like, you know, I got time, let me put on my speakers. You know, I listen to it, and I try to listen to your lyrics. And so you know, I started looking at something as simple as the title, sovereignty. And so we know the definition of sovereignty, but, you know, like, why did you choose to go with sovereignty, especially as like your debut album, right? What does that mean for you?
The album chose itself. And so the title went along with the concept that the album was channeled through. And so what I'm saying is the title of the album came at the completion of the work, of the body of work, because that's what the whole theme and content that the music was speaking about. But what sovereignty meant to me during that time is that the right to freely and independently govern yourself, your whole life, not just as a nation, like you said, you know it as a definition, as nations, the right to govern themselves freely and independently. But I mean that as a person as well, as your own person. Meaning, I guess through that process, I've always come to understand, because I was like, I'm making this album. And I'm like, it's my debut, you know? And I'm like, I'm putting my heart and my soul and my perspective and my everything into this. And, you know, I took a year and 9 months off, just completely dedicated that, you know? Responsibilities, all of that right out the window. You know, sat in that basement, just bam, bam, bam. You know? And because it was so important to do. But one of the questions for me when I was doing it, I was like, how am I going to have a chance to get people to hear this when everything seems so controlled? You know what I mean? And in that was the answer, is that men may be given power to exercise power and dominion over things like economic powers and structural power, systematic power, whatever.
That's right.
And so they may have that power, right? It's short-lived. But true authority, it only comes from God. And so my answer was, if it's going to come out and it's going to reach people, it's not going to happen through my power, or anybody's power, that I need anybody to do it on my behalf. If it is going to happen, it's going to happen by the authority of God. Because although men may have power over you, but no man and no being in this matter has authority over anybody. And so sovereignty was that. That's the meaning of sovereignty.
So I'm guessing that was kind of like the headspace you were in for those for that 1 year and 9 months, right? Where you just, it was almost like a liberating thing where it's like, I can't be contained. Like, you know, this, no man can control me. No person can tell me who I am, especially with how your upbringing was and just your experiences throughout life, where it's like, you know, you've never been boxed in with a certain city, a certain group of people. You've been here, you've been there. And so it almost ties back into that, where it's like, no matter what type of label people try to put you in or label you as, it's like, you're not that, because you're so many things. You know, it's like, you're just like a body, you're just like a shell of your soul type of thing. And, you know, that's like what I'm getting from it. I don't know if, like, you know, that's something that, you know, was like your mentality for that era of you making the album. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
No, 100%. It is. It's the right for you to be yourself. And to freely exercise your will without any containment by anyone's opinion, because any form of regulation or set of laws is just another man's imagination that has taken place over you. And it can only hold that power over you if you're in agreement to it. And I'm not talking about, you know, coming out here and being, you know, a rebel. Like, order is important, you know what I'm trying to say? But what I'm saying is that order only comes from chaos. So if you can remember that everything does come from chaos, right? Where there's no regulation, everything is open and free, and and from there you can have discipline to create a certain form. I'm just saying that there's many forms you can take. There isn't just one form that you need to partake in. And I'm just saying you have the right to independently act upon your own, right? Under the authority of God. Because what I'm trying to say is that, you know, life, you know, has these principles that are equally true to every breathing being. And everyone has the right to exercise that freely in the way that they please, you know, as long as, you know, you're not causing harm to yourself or others and all the rest of it. But but what I'm saying is, it is okay to be yourself.
Right.
And it's not about right or wrong and all of that. It's just being free, being free,
right,
and grounded enough,
right,
to believe in yourself and believe in your own perceptions, and that they also could be true, equally true, and that is the only validation you need, and to break through anything. And especially if it's done from a pure place, you know what I mean?
That's right.
You'll always attain it, and
That's
I believe that ultimate authority. It does come from the creator of all things.
That's right.
No one has authority over anybody. And so it came with that idea in mind of just, when you've come to understand what it means to truly be free, and then you have fun with it.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
I love the way you go about things, especially with your mindset when you're writing music. And I feel like that's something that a lot of people overlook or just don't take time to appreciate, where, music isn't just, like you said, it's not just empty noise. It's life. It's the way you were birthed. It's, just everything you went through, the way you think, like asking these type of questions and all that. And so, with this album here, like walk me through the creative process of like writing, producing, recording. How did they come to life? How was that like? Because, like I said, your mentality, not even just music, just in general, it's crazy. But like, not crazy in a bad way, but like it's like, it's like, wow, every time it's like you can learn something from it. And I could only imagine how it was like being in the studio with, Michael Jackson's drummer, for example. That's crazy. Like, just take me through all that. I know I said a lot, but like, take me through all of that, man. How was the writing, producing, recording, especially working with Michael Jackson's drummer? What is it, Jonathan?
Jonathan Moffett. Yeah.
There we go.
Sugarfoot. Yeah. Yeah, that's a loaded question. No, I was just laughing because, it got me shy a little bit. But no, I appreciate it, man. And thank you.
Yeah.
And so the creative process, man, and I love that you asked that question, because that's I feel like that's the heart why we're here, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I don't really write it. And I'm not going to, be all fancy about it. But the thing is, I really don't write it. I truly don't write it. It's just like a state that you go into, It's like you channel it. You really do channel it. And that's why I had to take so much time off. And when I make music, it takes so much, because it's, you have to be in a certain headspace, You have to be connected.
Right.
It's like a prayer. You can do a prayer on the go, but a prayer where you're completely undistracted and just in your zone and everything, at this point, you're no longer praying. You know what I mean? Prayer is being done through you. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like this thing, like, could you be loved and beloved? Like by Bob Marley, right? It's where the beloved becomes the loved, and the loved becomes the beloved. It becomes one. So if I'm praying so much, then I'm doing it to myself, right? But when I allow prayers to happen through me, then in a way, and this is what the part is going to sound crazy, is that in a way, God is now praying through you. You know what I mean? And that prayer that goes through you is the prayer that comes out of you, so that what's manifest, right? It's that reality, that charge, and that charge is real.
Right.
And that's the process. The process really starts with a prayer.
Wow.
All the time starts with a prayer.
Wow.
And there's intuition. And I'm not saying all the lyrics come like boom. And no, they sometimes come in as a melody.
That's right.
And also they don't come in the same day.
Right.
So like I'll have like Weighing Down, for example, right? It's like everything comes in stages. Like, and I'll have it's weighing down on me.
Right.
And that's the only thing came from now.
Right.
And I was thinking on the couch and I was telling my wife, I was like, wow, this is, what do you think? This sounds good? Like, does it sound familiar? Like, have you heard this before? And she's like, what is that? And I'm like, I'm singing. She's like, well, it sounds good, just do it. And then you'll just put that in. Or in your voice memo and that. And this is not unique to me. There's a lot of artists who make music in that way.
For sure.
So it's not exclusive to me.
For sure.
But it's a method that if you can connect to it and know that, and you have that connection with yourself, and life and the creator, you can kind of find that way where you can just stay so open enough that you get out of the way, and then you can just kind of pick up off of what's there. And along with that, of course, because the way we're created, everything that you hear growing up, and it's all going to be there. And your mind is also naturally going to rearrange that in a way that suits your expression and your flavor. So obviously we take influences and inspiration from everybody.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not saying it's original. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, so there's a part of it where your brain, it's probably taking all that information into there.
For sure.
But I'm saying it's also not untrue to say that there's a spiritual component to it that is inspired, where that life comes in, and then you take it as it comes. And it can come, like a song could start developing 7 months back. And in between that, it interweaves, and then you have like a different song that comes in, and another melody or a bass line that you're hearing is like doom, do 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 doom, do 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 doom. And you're like, oh, but then you're like, oh, but that doesn't fit the song I was doing yesterday. And it's like, it has a section of its own. But then you'll have some kind of hi-hat that you'll hear after 3 weeks, and you're like, oh, that hi-hat makes more sense with this voice memo. And then it's like
just like connecting the dots type of thing.
Like connecting that's like the stars, they look disorganized. When these people, they were looking at it, they started drawing all these things they see up there. With their imagination, they made connections that guided them. It made sense to them. Whether it was real or not, it became real to them. And it was coherent, right? Same thing with making music. It comes in stages, and my job is to like put them where they gotta go, where I think they can match. And then you have something. After you have something like a foundation, then you listen where it wants to go, right? And then that's when you get into that spirit, because we were talking about, right?
That's
like when you get into the spirit of it, because then, and you got to do it, It's one of those things, it's like, you got to do it over and over again. So when you're sitting there, you set up your mic, you close and that's why I don't like going into the studios. It's not even just about the hourly charge they give you and you feel pressured. It's like,
it feels fabricated.
I need time. I need to let it, I need it to open up. You know what I mean? I need my soul to open up. I got to get into, you can't rush a prayer.
That's right.
You can't put $1 on a prayer. You know what I mean?
And then there's flow.
You got to let it be, man. That energy, just got to let it flow. You got to let it open up. And then if God so desires, it comes through.
That's right.
But once you've got the foundation.
That's right.
And then that's the second part of the magic.
Yeah.
So that's the second phase. So now you got your rhythm, your groove. And I feel like the groove has got to be, if the groove is not strong, like that's when we're going back, Jonathan Moffett here. And I love that, man. And that's one of the things he was saying. He's like, hey, if your groove is good enough, they're going to stick around. If it's not strong enough, you're going to lose them. And it's so true. And you know what? It cannot be more true than that. Because I feel, and I agree with that, I feel like when you do have a strong rhythm, like a strong groove, like like when you have that,
right? That's right.
I want that.
That's right.
That's the foundation. So that can start working on my spirit now. And then it evolves from there. And then the words and the melody can start coming. And I would say like the groove and the rhythm is like the earth. Because it's like your foot, where you're walking. It's your point of contact onto the earth.
That's right.
But then the melody, right? That's love. That's air, that's sky, that's the ether. That's the space in between all of that. You know what I mean? And your words is the expression, the communication. And that's like between heaven and earth, right? You got life taking place. You're expressing a certain moment in time.
That's right.
And in each one of them has an element. Like the earth, you know what I mean? It's got that element, the air, and then you've got the water, the life of things. And then got the fire when you bring that passion and that desire. You know what I mean? And these are the elements of life. And you need every single element in music.
Right.
So that you have life.
Right.
Right. And so when you're hearing that, you're like, oh, I feel the life in it. Right. And the fifth element, because a lot of people stop at the fourth element. But the indigenous tell you there's the fifth element. What is it? Spirit. Spirit. And what is that? That's the combination of all these things coordinated and synchronized, put together in unison.
Right.
The spirit holds all of that like a glue. It's like the compressor. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
You're trying to compress everything and just putting them all into, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So everything is in tune. And so that's the spirit. So, but you got to take it from the spirit. Then you connect it to the earth because we're of earth.
That's right.
And all of that. So that's the process. The process is really going into that state of being.
Yeah.
And then allowing the music and the rhythm and all of that to guide itself.
Right.
Yeah. No, but now answering your other question about Jonathan Moffett.
That's right.
Meeting him was super incredible because of my past. And like the first time I ever got into music, like I said.
I wanted to mention that.
Okay.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I was going to mention this later, but when you told me about your start and who you are and how you got into music, everything like that, it's so crazy to me how you started off with Michael Jackson. And then fast forward years, a full circle moment, you're working with his own drummer, bro.
Crazy.
That's insane. When you told me that, I was like, God really is the greatest author. Isn't that crazy, bro?
Yes.
Like, insane. And that, like, everything else you're saying about, how you're not boxed in, you're tuned in with God. Everything you do is a prayer. When you write music, you don't even write. You just let God pray through you. You just let prayer, let it flow. You just let prayer guide you and then allow you to flow however it's gonna flow. If it doesn't become something, it's not meant to be. But if it becomes something, then it's meant to be heard. And so just all those elements and just that whole circle back to how the beginning of Walaa to the present of Walaa. It's just insane, bro.
It's so amazing,
Yeah. Go into that, man.
And it's super amazing, man. And it's the best part about it is that it's real.
Insane.
It's one thing if you're just thinking about something, is another thing to now live it through, in real experience. So yeah, man, just like you said, it's super crazy, man. Like, so when we connect it through God's grace, and it's only through God's grace, I don't believe in coincidence, really. I just don't. The fact that we even got here today, we didn't even think this would happen, right? It was just the last, it's crazy, right? But here we are, right, a great space too. And
beautiful.
So when that happened with Jonathan Sugarfoot Moffett, man, it was just like, we all say we never need a validation, right? Like, I don't need nobody. Even my Sovereignty album, right? Yeah. God is the authority and this. And that was like after the fact, right?
Right.
But when I was starting at the time, it was just like, I never really needed any form of validation or anything. But sitting there with Sugarfoot, in that studio, and we were working on some projects, the EP and that. And it wasn't even just working on the music, man. It was the conversations in between the music. And one thing about him, he's exactly the same way. Like, I'm not saying we the same, but he's connected. He's connected to God, because I know we were sitting there at a certain point and he's just like, he feels music, and he's just like, he's doing this, I'm like, what's that? He's like, you feel it? I'm like, what? He's like, see that energy here? He's like, oh, that's God. It just happens. You open yourself up to it, and it just comes. And I was like,
that's beautiful.
It's so beautiful, because then you haven't completely lost your mind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like he got it. And another thing I noticed about him,
right,
when he would listen into the music, like when it came his time to, do his thing, he didn't play right away. Yeah. Most people, like, they'll try. He played the song like Chains, for example.
Yes.
In the morning, and he's in the studio and he has this, he's getting into the feeling.
Yeah.
And he's listening, but he's not listening to me. He's not listening to my music. He's listening to the Spirit. He's listening not for what's there that is on the track. He's listening for what is not on the track, what it's speaking to him. Right. And so he's listening around that, And he's like, oh, he's hearing it. And you can see him hearing it completely in his zone. You know what I mean? And you don't even bother him. You let him in his space because he's praying. You know what I mean? And he goes into that and he connects to it, and then the grooves come out. And it's like he speaks that out of the soul. And that's why it sits so beautifully. And that's why you feel it, right? Wow. It's not that he's sitting there thinking, counting metronomes, you know. He's just one with everything, and he's just pure, you know. So it was that. And then meeting him, knowing that he was, you know, the heartbeat behind a lot of those grooves that he played live, right? And so you would move to that, to understand that rhythm came through you, like that you felt the music from the first man that played those grooves and it ran through you, and now you're sitting with him where you're vocally expressing, and you know, you're doing the whole thing together. It just didn't feel like an accident. You know what I mean? It felt like this is where I belong. And like I said, and maybe I'll say that in conclusion, you know, but to this, you know, but it's you know, when you're growing up all over the place, and I told you never find your space and where you sit and whatever.
That's right.
I tell you, man, when I'm making music, you know, that's where I feel like I belong. And you know how you know that's where you belong?
How do you know? When
you're no longer counting time. And you're no longer thinking, oh, I got to finish this up because I got to get to this. You know how you have that feeling when you're doing this? Like, oh, I got to do. You're always thinking of the next thing you're going to do while you're doing something.
That's right. Yeah.
The only time I don't feel that is when we're creating music, man. And when I was there, it reminded me of that. Wow. And when I was sitting there and I didn't have to be anywhere. I wasn't thinking I was tired. I wasn't thinking I got to sleep.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking I got to do this. I felt like I belonged. No judgment. You know what I mean? No time, no regulations, no form or format or anything. It was just we're being, you know?
Wow.
And then, you know, the stuff that I learned with him along the way, and, you know, his philosophies, and, you know, and him explaining why we do what we do.
Wow.
And all of that happened right around that time. It was just like reaffirming my path, you know?
Wow.
And it's just a way of life. There's no certain thing you got to reach to be a certain somebody.
Yeah.
It's just you are already, and you're just letting it be as you are, as you move.
Wow.
And so that's kind of like what that signifies to me, you know?
Wow.
Magical. Yeah, super magical.
That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. It's insane. Like, even me being an artist as well, like, I'm listening to you, and this is like advice from myself almost, you know, and it's just crazy how deep music is, you know. To a lot of people, they just see music as sounds. That's something you can vibe to. And to which, you know, music can make you feel good. You know, it's vibrations. High vibrations make you feel good. Low vibrations make you feel bad. You know, it pulls different strings in your heart. But it's just crazy how each song, you know, especially like, since we're talking about you, like each song, it feels like it literally is a piece of you. You know what I mean? And I have a couple songs here, but I'll get to that in a bit. But it's like I hear you, but it's like I hear you. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know how to explain it to you. It's like oh, this is Walaa. Like I hear you, man. Like I hear your heart. Even if you're saying things I don't understand, but I feel it. Like I always say this. I'm always like, music is a language that everybody understands, even if you don't know the words, or even if you don't understand the language, you can feel it. You know, like Michael Jackson. That's why he was so loved. You know, and going into my next question, you know, I guess you kind of answered it already, but again, this ties back into everything you were saying, the beginning of you to the present. It's like I was hearing these songs, and I was really getting a lot of Michael Jackson inspiration, where even if it wasn't direct, where it's like, oh, I'm trying to sound like him, but just that type of energy. Even you beatboxing here, it's like that's something Mike would do a lot, where it's like he hears something, he starts beatboxing, he starts like grooving and all that. And I feel like you captured that essence and you developed it into you, without trying to like be a replica. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I think that's so beautiful, and how you're still yourself, and like when we hear you, it's like, oh, we hear Walaa, like it's authentic, it's so raw, it's so beautiful, and I love that, and I guess you already kind of answered this, but was Mike like an influence for this? Was it intentional to go with like this type of sound, or was it just a thing where it's like you just let God speak through you?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. No, I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
And like you're basically saying, I don't just hear you, I feel you.
I feel you.
So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And honestly, like regarding the inspiration, yes, 100% Michael. I was inspired a lot through Michael. Like I think a lot of artists are.
Right.
But you know what it really is?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's where we are drawn into people that we feel resemble something within us that they're expressing out there.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is the part that's within me, you know what I mean? Because we're all one. Oh, sorry. We're all one. So the part that's within me was expressed beautifully. I seen that part of me expressed through Michael, through one small aspect. And that part he's seen within me. There's many aspects to him. So I felt like, oh, I'm attracted. So you get attracted to something that speaks to you that's already within you. And so I would say like within Michael, I found a lot of myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And it wasn't just Michael,
Yeah.
I mean, but of course, I would say number one, it was Michael, because it started with the dance. Since I was a kid, I didn't know my mom, she got me, opened up my ears to that, right?
That's right.
And it was just the power, right? And it just everything, right? And it was just, that's what I was exposed to. Mm-hmm. But furthermore, it was also Tupac. Tupac is huge. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a lot within him. That I don't want to say the aggressive side, but the
unapologetic,
the outlaw. You know what I mean? The one that's just, the real side. Like not that Michael's real too, but you know what I mean? That part that's a little more straightforward, direct.
It's like, this is what it is. No sugarcoating.
That's it. It's not going to be too. And there's that aspect to me as well. There's times I could be, times I could be super sweet, and there's times you're like, yo, Oliver, you crazy. Yo, you can't be talking like that. Like, you possessed or what? But I got all these sides to me, as any human does, right? So Tupac reminded me that, but you see, Michael came to me in my childhood, right, and throughout he stuck around. But Tupac came strongly in my adolescenthood, right, and that's when I needed that. And then as I was in like my late teens, Bob Marley kicked in. That was the neutralizer. You know what I mean? He's like, hey, you know what I mean? And so Bob Marley is a huge one for me as well, and. I'd say like everybody has their 2 or 3 people that, I mean, I'm inspired by many things, and many people as well, and many sounds. And not just singers or songwriters, like even composers, like Yanni, but everybody came to me at a different stage in my life. Like Yanni came to me in my early 20s, and that was more like beyond what the word could express. Wow. You know what I mean? Wow. And so he's a huge composer that I love. Yeah. But these 3, I would say in my, Michael being a huge one, of course, and Tupac being equally as big, and not in a comparative way too. Yeah. And Bob Marley and that. So, they spoke to me, they've inspired me. And no, I never chose I wanted to do a certain sound to be a certain way. All I did was, I mean, you have the intention of what you're trying to go for. Yeah. And it was always, I want to keep it as real as possible. Yeah. But I want to also challenge myself to grow with it. You know what I mean? And to utilize in every way that I can. Yes, I want to incorporate and carry something from everybody that I love, but that wasn't really done consciously. That was just already embedded within me because I grew up on that. So it's part of my rhythms. If you're going to sing a certain melody, little connection of Michael might come through me, or if I'm going to want to say something aggressively, I might feel that Tupac spirit within me.
That's
but
right.
am I really trying to emulate them at the time? Nothing. No, but I feel that spirit. You know, I'm inspired by it.
That's
so I take the inspiration. I never block the inspiration off. But I'm never set off to want to sound a certain way or want this to sound a certain way. I mean, even the method of learning how to do this was really taught through them as well, because when you're coming up, you know, and you're trying to understand, sometimes you come across their works and how they expressed it.
Right.
And it validates that it's a very natural thing to allow God to sing it through you.
Mm-hmm.
So they normalize that for me. And so if anything, I try to emulate that more, you know, to just how do I keep connected to God and stay authentic and just express what I feel and in the way I can. That's probably one of the biggest lessons I took from them.
For sure.
Along with, you know, besides artists, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's, you know, I'm also inspired greatly by prophets, you know, their stories.
That's
so
right.
that came in even before artists.
That's right.
Yeah, at a young age. But that's a different thing.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful, man. It's like, it really does feel like perfect timing, you know, and God's timing is beautiful, man. Like the way you spoke about how you incorporate Michael, how you incorporate Pac, Bob Marley, and not in a way, like you said, not in a way where it's like you're imitating or whatever it may be, but you take inspiration and you let that inspiration flow into who you are, into your experiences, you know, and ultimately just letting life make this album, you know, and this album, it really feels intentional. It really feels like every snare, every hi-hat, every breath, everything was intentional. Nothing felt rushed. You know, it really did feel like you made sure you put everything the way it needs to be put, you know, and especially with your sequencing of your album, you know what I mean? And especially starting off, for example, with the song The Law.
Mm-hmm.
That song, like, a lot of people, they usually like to start off albums soft or, you know, let people, you know, ease in. For this album, at least for me, this song, at least for me, when I heard it, it was like, nah, screw that. I'm gonna come hard, pause. You know? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like just the way you're rapping, bro. Like you had singing elements, but you were rapping. Even you were rapping to the point, and like you were so passionate in your raps to the point where you weren't even saying words. You're just like gra-ta-ta-ta, like you just start making sounds, and I'm like, yo, my boy's just, he lost his word. He ran out. He's like, yo, let me just, I'm gonna just say whatever's in my heart. And I love that, man. I think that has to, even though each song got their own uniqueness to it, but for me, I think that song stuck out to me the most. And so what made you want to go with The Law as the first song for your debut? Like, that's an interesting pick.
Mm-hmm. The reason I did that, because I'm like, if you can't get past this one, we're not going to get along. You know? Yeah, I said that was the one that could deter you.
Yeah.
And allow you to continue. And it was just, you know, like you said, it was the...
Right.
You know, you either bow,
you
know what I mean? Or if you felt offended in any way or it didn't sit right with you, or, you know, we started it in the name of God.
Right.
It started off with a prayer. Like you see,
Yeah.
that whole section right before we switch. And if you got irritated by hearing that and you weren't patient enough for it, then you're not supposed to be in this space. You know what I mean? So that one was there so that only the real ones could continue the journey. It really was.
Wow.
That's why we started with that.
That's amazing, bro. Mm-hmm. I love that song, man. The way the beat drops and then I'm not even gonna try to imitate the singing, bro. You do better than me for real, but that's beautiful, man.
I also want to mention, and I don't want to leave this out. So even though, you know, we've channeled and we've connected to this music and I produced this music and that, I also did have a co-producer on this, which is very important to mention.
Yes.
Because he is, I would say, you know, I don't want to say like my brother, because then you're saying he not your brother.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but he's my brother. You know what I mean?
Right,
He's my
right.
brother in spirit, and we've connected deeply by working in this album together on a spiritual level, because it's X230, right? You've
Yes,
you know
yes.
him, and
Shout out X.
yeah, shout out to X, and because you know I cannot forget him, because he has a huge part to this.
That's right.
And you know what? And so after we did all the foundation and everything like that, and I'm done with what I gotta do. Sometimes it's like beatboxing it. Sometimes I'll just use whatever I can on my MIDI, and then I'll send it. Once it's all done, like I have it all in, then I'll call him up and be like, "Hey, this is what I got, and I want to enhance it. I want to elevate this, and you know, more modern sounding stuff, because you know I use the, you know, simple stuff that I got, right?
Yeah.
And he has more of these technical skills, I guess, and,
That's
and the
right.
sound selection, and
Yeah.
he knows how to make it better, you know,
Yeah.
like make it slap. And so he heard it, and he's cool, you know, he's cool. Right? He doesn't say too much, but he's listening to it, like 11 songs, right? He's quietly listening to it. No comment. Most people, they'll listen to it, and after 2-3 minutes, like, oh, this crazy, and this, oh, man, this nothing.
They don't even give a chance to listen to this.
Yeah,
song. Like,
he-
yo, why you talking, man? Listen to this song.
Yeah, he nothing.
Yeah.
So halfway through, like we're sitting there 20 minutes, I'm like, I hope he likes it. You know? Because I want to work with him, you know? And he just quiet, you know, and then we finished,
Yeah.
and he's like, yo, this is crazy. I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, so let's get started tomorrow, man. Just like
Really,
that,
just
yeah.
like that.
And we set up a schedule, and we were up at 7 a.m, and you know, we worked, took a break lunchtime, and I'm still working, and he's still working, right? And meet back up at around midnight, whatever. And you know, and I'm in one country, he's in another country, and so, and then we worked through that, and you know, and that's the thing. We came, was like, pray before you play. You know, that's what we say, pray before you play. And he's like, all right, man. And so we got into that, and then he got into that state, and he made me laugh. I think one time, and I'll say this, you know, but I'm not sure if he likes me to say this or not, but I'll say it. And he was like, I think we were so late, and we were playing, I forgot which song we were doing, and we were stuck in one part. Like we wanted some kind of enhanced melody of some sort or whatever. And I was like, man, I just, you know, something is missing here. He's like, yeah, man. He's like, hold on 1 second. He come back after 2 minutes. He's like, yo. I'm like, what? He's like, man, I prayed. And you know what? I'm like, what? He's like, I know you're going to think I'm crazy, man, but I heard this melody come out from within the tree. I mean, from the tree itself. He's like, right out my window. I'm like,
Are you serious?
man, I drove him crazy. I'm like, what did it say? He's like, man, I can't tell you, but I'm going to let you hear it. So he put it on. And he's playing it, right?
Yeah.
And it sounded real good. Yeah, it sounded real good. And I'm like, is that what the tree told you? He's like, I don't know, but that's what I heard. He's like, do you like it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, we're leaving it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, all right. So I'm just telling you like how intense we were having fun.
Yeah.
We were joking around about, like, see, that's another thing too. Like, you know, I know we're talking and we're doing all that, like, but it's not really all that serious, you know. Like, we honestly were having a lot of fun with it,
For sure.
You know? Like, yeah, of course we're praying, we're connecting to God, but you know, once you let it open, you let it loose, and we were just having fun. I don't know if he was trolling me that time or not, but the truth is, man, the melody came out good.
That's dope.
You know, whether he went out his window and he puffed up on some weed, came back and was like, let me give Walaa a story. He likes stories. I know he's gonna tell a story. So he's like, let me give him a story and give him this melody that goes along with it. So he gave it to me.
Yeah.
But no, big shout out to X, because you know what?
He's a great guy.
Great guy, and he worked really hard.
Yeah.
We were super excited doing it, and super exhausted
I
when
can
we were
imagine.
done. And I really believe there's a lot of his spirit, and like when he connected, you know, there's a lot of things that came through.
That's
and
beautiful.
every time I hear it, I hear him with me.
That's dope.
I hear him with me, man. Like when that, you know, like Man Made, you know, comes in. That's him. That's
Oh,
you know,
that's him.
he speaks. Yeah, he speaks through his sounds. Them hi hats that you hear, some of those hi hats that you hear, like like when you hear the I need you and the switch up, and then it's like how it's speaking, and it's no pattern. Like we don't really follow a sequence, a format, and that sort, right? We're just hitting that, and because it's always minor shifts. Nothing is really repeating twice, you know, and that's him.
That's
him
dope.
shifting times a little bit and bending it to my will and then moving my, and that's why when we finished, and we have all demos, and I heard it again, it brought a different energy to it, and I was like, okay, I got to do my final take, So once I put it in, it's just like I had to enhance the energy that much more. And he heard it, he's like, oh man, you're overpowering the beat. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. He's like, no, don't be sorry. It sounds good, but it just means I got to retouch the beat again because I got to make it even more powerful now. I'm like, it's just when I heard it, it gave me that energy. And so it came out. And so now, back into the pre-production, what is it called? Post-pre-production? Post-production?
Post-production.
Whatever,
yeah.
after production. We're just producing.
All of that.
Continuing the production.
Yeah.
So we continued again, revisited everything. I had to amplify a few things. In some parts, he has to soften a few things. And then he sent it to me. He's like, do not re-record again. Like, and I heard it. And then everything sat right.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the question was, but I'm just giving some shout outs. And then a big shout out to Aubrey Whitfield too.
Yes.
Because she was the one that engineered this album. It wasn't an easy album to engineer because, first of all, the files weren't that organized. You know what I mean? Which she taught me how to comp them and do all of that, right, to make it easier. But even with that being said, I mean, some of these projects had 200 different stems in them,
It sounded like a lot. I'm not going to lie. Even me listening to it, I know you're talking, but even me listening to it, like, I was like, man, it sounds chaotic, bro. Like, I'm listening, I'm trying to hear these lyrics, but then I'm hearing some like, like in the back, and then I'm hearing some like, and I'm like that. I'm like, yo, I'm overstimulated, bro. It's like, yo, you gotta chill. Obi, chill. Like, but no, for real, it, like I said, it was your soul in that, you know.
We put it into there. So big shout out to Aubrey Whitfield. Amazing engineer.
Dope.
Yeah, super amazing.
Shout
and and a lot of people helped me along the way as well too. But I went through quite a few engineers trying to get them to help me out with that, and it didn't quite work out. But with her, we stuck through with it. Yeah. And so I'm thankful to her.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
That's amazing. No, she did a great job. It sounded very, very professional.
Oh, she's a pro. Yeah.
She's
a pro.
Yeah. I'll tell you a few songs that stood out to me. A few of my favorites as well. Restless, Slow, Feel for the Crier. And I know I said The Law was my favorite. Yeah, honestly, all of them are my favorite, bro. Because Start Tonight, I think, that one is dope, bro. That one is dope. Like, what's the story behind those ones? Because those ones are deep songs, man. Like Feel for the Crier, like just take me through them, man. Yeah.
Feel for the Crier, man. that one goes through it, man. That's about, in short, it's the ones that are helpless, that are not being helped, where it's unnecessary for them to be helpless. And that could be anybody, you know what I mean? And I specifically refer to them as the children. You know what I mean? And that's not necessarily actual children. So it is the children, but it's also anybody who is in a childlike state. What's a child? Pure and innocent, will not harm anyone, right? And cannot protect them even if harm is done onto them. So whether you're 30, 50, 60, but you find yourself in the vulnerable position, that's speaking for you too. And that's one of the realest songs you're going to hear, because that's just beyond just melodies and all that. I mean, we do that, so you take time to listen. But the thing is, that's about just what's always been happening in life. The one that's always in a higher position of power, sometimes will find themselves a bit easier to oppress somebody who's not in that position. Understand what I mean? And so at the same time, so I say all of that about what's happening. Very simple. You noticed my lyrics are very simple too. Yes. Not like you. You're very poetic, which is beautiful, right? And you're more deeper into the rap, and and that's everybody got their form.
That's right.
Mine is a bit more like, I just want everybody to be able to understand without ambiguity what we're talking about.
Yes.
And then in the heart of the song, where we switch into it, that was a prayer, and that was the promise of God that he made to Abraham. So If you want to know what that is, then you just got to listen to Feel for the Crier.
That's
You
dope.
know what I mean?
That's
So the
dope.
lyrics are online. Sometimes my words, they tell me it's not that clear because I still want to make it sound nice, you know?
Yes.
But it's there.
Yeah.
So that one is just,
That's dope.
just to be a little more compassionate,
Yeah,
That's
I love
what
that.
is, yeah.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm.
And the other song I mentioned, Slow. Honestly, like I listened to that. That was one of the songs that I listened to a lot. Like, this is how I listened to the album. I played it all together at least 5 times. And then after that, the songs that really stuck out to me, I played them over and over.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them was Slow. And that song, like you said, your lyrics are simple. But it's crazy that with that song, I took it as like personal advice for me, and it's like, yo, just take things slow, like a child learns how to walk, they first start crawling, and then they learn how to walk, and then, you grow. And so with me, it's like, I'm like, oh man, I gotta make it here. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. Oh man, like, it's like, I'm stressed. I'm like, I got so many things in my mind. Like, I know who I want to be and what I want to do in my life. Like, this is how I took the song. Like, I know what I want to do, what I want to be. And it's like, I want to do that before my time is up, before I feel like it's too late, before I feel like, oh, my time is out, this and that. But hearing this song, it's like, it almost was like a reminder for me to where it's like, everything is in its stages. If you talk through God, or if you let God speak through you, it'll happen when it needs to, as long as you do your part, type of thing. And that's how I took the song, and I thought that was a beautiful thing. And maybe your intentions with that was maybe a little bit different, but when I listened to it, that's how I took it in. And I'm like, it's a deep song as well, even though the lyrics are simple, and especially with all your other songs, but it's the meaning behind those lyrics. Something can be simple, but there's depth to it. And so that's what I loved about this song, Slow. And I guess my question to you is, like, did you write that for anyone in particular? Like, because I don't know if you want to mention now, but like to the public, but I know you have a son and everything. Mm-hmm. Like, it felt like a message to him almost as well, and so that's what I thought of too.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And, first of all, I just want to say, like, you keep saying you listen to these songs so many times over and over again. And now I know why I got all these streams. So that's all you listening to me? Because anybody else has heard the album, they got nothing to say. So you're the only one listening?
I guess. Hey, man. Let's check my Spotify Wrapped. Yeah, number 1.
I might share that privately. You might be like, oh, well, but that's exactly me to the T.
I'm dead. Yeah, I'm a supporter, bro, for real.
No, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But no, it's right, man. And at the end of the day, man, whatever you're listening from the music that you get from it, that's exactly what's intended out of it, right? But also at the same time, to answer the question, it was a reminder, to myself, as well as, yes, to my child. Yeah, he was in my heart when I did this, as well as like anything else that I do, I always keep him in mind.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like, is that something I want my child to hear, or not? But that one in particular,
I can
was a reminder to myself and my child. My child is of me, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it was that. It was just that reminder, man, Like you said, as much as we want things to rush and to happen quickly and all of that, that's just not the natural state flow.
That's right.
Right? So you have to take everything
slow
in stages.
That's right.
And you don't got to hesitate. Like you're saying, am I going to miss out on something? It's like, no, but it also doesn't mean be inactive, It just means keep activity going, but slowly. Like, take it slow. I'm not saying keep it on hold. I'm saying take it slow.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So slowly, patiently, and beautifully. You know what I mean? And that's why we mentioned that. Like the seed that you put it takes time to grow.
That's right.
And then the baby, as it crawls, it takes time before it can walk. You know what I mean? The night as it turns into the day, and these simple things,
That's beautiful, man.
Nice and slow, yeah.
I love that. And so I got this question for you, man. It's a little bit swaying off topic, not off topic, but just going into the challenges of making this album. What was the most challenging thing or challenging part of making this album?
Man, unfortunately, it always is the case. It's always the financial thing, right? Because we just live in that kind of world, and the responsibility, that like I'm not a bachelor, sitting here. I got lives that count on me and all of that.
That's right.
And so that is scary. It's because you're in that position in life now. But then everything is time sensitive, and so it's not a matter of just praying and God is going to make it happen. We still got to move. We got to move in slowly into it, right? And it was really that. It was finding the time and to have sustained resources and to try to do it. Everybody wants to do it at the highest level they can do it. And sometimes you can't really get it to the highest level because you just don't got the resources to do it, but you can do it to the highest level you're capable of doing. So I think it was that. And a part of it was that challenge, like, you're taking all this time to do this. You do want to see, even when you're making the music, you're not thinking to be impressive, right? In the moment that you're making it. But once it's done, and you're hearing it now for the first time, because, when you're so deep into the process, you're not really listening. Yes. It's when it's all done, you take a break, and then you listen, you're like, oh, wow, it's like you hear it for the first time. It's
That's
like,
right.
Oh, I'd like other people to hear this, So that was the hardest part, is, doing that. And then once I was done doing it, and there was nothing else to do with it. Like I can't market it. I can't this is, I guess, some kind of marketing in a way, right?
Yeah.
But besides this, there's so many other things I'd love to be able to do, man. Like I had all these ideas. Part of the challenging part is still ongoing, which is now it's the aftermath of doing the album, not so much while you're doing it. Because while you're doing it, you've already you've got this set time. Regardless, you're going to get it done. Yes. Nobody could say anything to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And your belief is going to carry you through.
That's right.
But now once you pass that process and you only have, this guy listens to it for 300 times, and you're thinking, okay, people are listening. But you know what I mean? And it's like, how do you perform it on a show? How do you, make music videos or like content videos, and like you have these ideas that you do want to do. And you enjoy doing it because it's another form of the art. Right. I know a lot of people complain about the content, like it's a big deal, but I love that. Like I think it's another form of the art, provided you have the time and the resources again to really do things, which a lot about because you do amazing stuff in that, and I follow that too.
Thank you.
I bug you about that, right?
Thank you.
Yeah, and I love that. And so that, I guess, the challenging part is not while you were just doing it. It was, how do I continue to be able to do this, right? To stay in that flow. And then all the work that I got to do after this to deliver this, now put it on the market. And that's just been super difficult for me to deal with right now, the aftermath. Yeah. It's been harder than, because creating it is one thing. You feel like you're doing what you're wanting to do.
Yes.
And it's already fulfilled in your mind. You've seen it, you've heard it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, I want to do that. But then at the same time, you want to do that, but you're also working on other projects because you can't do things in a linear fashion because then you'll never get anything done.
Yeah.
So the hardest part during it was, making the time for it. The harder part is after it. Yeah. How do I get others to hear this so that, you don't, I don't want to say you don't feel like you wasted your time, because I don't feel like I wasted my time because it's still real to me.
That's right.
And honestly, like, it's not even about the quantity, because, and this is going off topic of what you asked, but it kind of, when you're doing it, what are you thinking you're doing it for?
You asking me?
I'm interviewing you now.
Oh, damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, really, like when you're doing it, what are you doing it for?
That's a good question. Off the dome, I'm doing it to have a voice and to make an impact and spark people's hearts. That's what I'm doing it for.
Right.
But I don't know if that's what you're asking specifically.
It's no wrong answer, but what I'm saying is whether you're doing it for that, right? Or whether you're doing it to be great, what does that all mean? That means nothing, because that can happen regardless of time, right? And that doesn't need the quantity. If, like you said, it touched that one person or that second person, or that should be enough, because that's one person that changed the whole world. That's a whole world you impacted. You feel me? And that's hard for us to believe, because we want to feel like we have this idea, you know, I need it in masses, right? Or if I want to know that I did an impact, what does that mean? That I see a huge impact, or that I'm great? Now, does that mean like people have to tell you you're great? And if they didn't tell you you were great, does that mean you're not great? And well, let's say right now they said, this is terrible. But then after 20 years, when you're no longer here, they're hearing it, this is the greatest stuff. So what is it? Was it terrible? Is it great? Or who determines what?
Yeah.
You know, there are obviously some factors, you know, you can put into play, but even those factors don't really matter a lot. Like, and what I was going to say is that you can have somebody who sings a little bit out of tune, right? Or the tempo is off tempo a bit. And you might say, oh, well, it's not really, you know, it's sounding off. But honestly, if you look at different parts of the world, like sometimes that's just how they make music. It really is. I'm not playing. I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
No.
They'll sing off, like to me and you, it sounds like they're off tune. They're just using a different scale. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
but that's like sounds great to them. It's like
even with rap, like, not to cut you off, there's a lot of rappers where fans or whoever, they be like, they're off beat. But in reality, they're flowing between the beats, or
between the beat, they create a tension.
Exactly, or like slightly behind the beat to create that swing, you know. But just because it's not like 1, 2, you know. So I get it.
So I guess where I was going with that is why we're doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I don't feel like I wasted time. Yeah, it would be great. Would be incredible to have lots of people support you and listen to. For what reason? The fact that you can, you know, get up in the morning and just do that now and become better at your craft. You don't got to hit that construction job site where you no longer want to be there, because you're not just because you're tired, you are, but at the same time, you feel like it's not fulfilling to your capacity of what you're really able to do.
Right.
So when you are getting that support, like, why do we want support? Why do I want support? And I would appreciate the support, is because, you know, it establishes me as an artist, meaning if I can make enough funds, you know what I mean, to take care, produce more art and take care of my livelihood, so that I can be present, you know, to bring down more music. And, but that's just something, you know, I love to do. And that doesn't mean if you don't get that now, that you say, oh, well, you know, whatever, I can't do that anymore. No, just work harder and make a budget. And, you know, if that means another year or two, you can sit and create, then that's what you do with what you can, if you love it and it's true to your heart, you know? Thanks. But I felt like that was something I had to say. I just said it.
That's it. Just said it. Yeah, no, I love that, man. I love that. Nah, that's deep, bro. That's dope. It's kind of crazy, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, you be answering my questions before I even asked it, bro. It's like, you know, I was asking these questions. But My next question is, if listeners could walk away with one message after hearing Sovereignty, what would you want it to be?
I don't know, man. Honestly, that's a good question. I'd like to hear what they tell me. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna expect anything off the listener. You know, I just opened up my heart. I allowed something to come through that, you know, felt good within me as it was happening. And you know, if I'd be grateful enough to even have listeners, and then with those same listeners, you know, if something touched them, made them feel a certain way, there's no right or wrong way, you know what I mean? And I'd love to hear what they thought about it, you know what I mean, without me, because I never had that intention starting off. I didn't think what I wanted a person to leave hearing this. So it never really crossed my mind. I never really thought of the audience. And I never really thought of a genre to reach an audience. I just thought, this is what I'm doing. So I guess it's one of those things, man, like, hopefully something positive, you know?
That
dope. Would be nice, yeah.
Hell yeah,
that would be nice, yeah.
I think they would walk away with a lot, you know, a lot of true, like, change in perspective. For example, like I said, slow, you know, I give an example of myself. Like, I personally think they would walk away with a lot. You know what I mean? It's almost like a lesson, like a big bro, or like a teacher almost. Like, yo, this is me. This is what I've seen. Take what I learned. Apply it in your life, type of thing. Or at least that's how I see it. So that's the beauty of music. There's, like you said, there's no right or wrong answer. Mm-hmm. There's not like, oh no, you're wrong with that. Like, this is what it is. Maybe that was your intention, but that's how this person took it. And so, like I said, that's the beauty within music, and especially with your album. Like I said, it was very intentional, and it's here to stay for real. It's here to stay.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And my final question for you, bro. What's next for you, man? What can we expect more from you? Visuals, more music, performances. Like, what's the next chapter of Walaa after Sovereignty? Do you know?
Not really sure, but as long as I feel like there's something within me, you know what I mean, that needs expression, we're going to continue express. I mean, I've never stopped. I never really, since I was a kid, I started this thing, and it's not like I just started making music 2 years ago. I just started publicly, releasing music 2 years ago. But I've been doing it for over 20 years, man. Really. Wow. And so I don't think it's anything that I'll ever really quit, or it's a question of quitting. But I think one of the things I'm interested in right now, like that I want to get into, and I'm not sure if it's going to be an album or an EP. So Sovereignty was more like, sit back, reflect, contemplate, and whatever. I think the next one I want to do a more movement at now. To get up through your body and to experience it. So maybe something that can get you on the dance floor a little bit.
I gotta get my dance lessons in, man.
Yeah, you gotta get them dance lessons in.
That's right.
And I want to do something a bit more, for the dance community, and just good times, when you're barbecuing. I mean,
dope.
I don't want to go too mind, a bit more body now, like go from the mind to the body. And it'll always still have the spirit, and it'll have, a positive message. There'll still be a beautiful message, maybe a bit more simplified. I'm not exactly sure how we're going to do it. It's always going to be real, nice. to what I feel. But that's a project I've already started. And then I have projects that I would like to do that are just storytelling, you know what I mean? Like lyrically and that, like musically we're speaking now, right? And then I've got like instrumental stuff that I want to do, like compositions and that type of world.
That's where the Yanni thing comes in.
Yeah. And he's always been a part of it, really, because in everything we do, I really, you can hear it, right? It's there. I just want to switch it up, you know what I mean? I maybe do some more features, because I didn't have any in that debut. It was just,
you.
But maybe I'll do some features with other artists who, reach out, or that I reach out to, or if it, God works it out in a way, and there's a connection of some sort, and we can connect on that level, and we see it from the same perspective. We can do something.
For sure.
Now visually, I would love to do like just really great cinematic productions, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, because film is one of those things I really, really love.
That's a beauty in itself, for real.
Yes, yeah. It's such an art, you know what I mean?
It is.
To visually tell a story,
Right.
And I feel like it's so important because life is nothing but a story. Everything that we've built our society off of derived from a story. It's a story we tell each other. Right. What I'm saying is known. It's not. I didn't come up with this, but I that realization has dawned upon me as well.
Dope.
So I think one of the things I'd love to do is for that same album and other songs, and I'd like to create performance videos for sure. Like because that's, if you're a lower budget, that's what you can do, which is what I'll probably start off with. But if, God makes it possible, man, I'd really love to work with some great filmmakers and, and just like create like a story,
right.
but through the music,
yes,
and just beautifully, you know what I mean, told, and the visuals and the lighting, and it brings the music to life. And it doesn't even really matter if I'm in it as an artist or as a singer or whatever or not. It really doesn't matter, as long as it's something, that can add life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
For sure.
So I'm hoping to do stuff like that.
Wow.
And then, whatever God opens up my way, because I honestly don't know. I don't know. The last time I was ever asked a question like this was so many years ago. And then, nothing happened. Nothing at all. Like, it was like 7-8 years. Life took a whole different direction. I had to do this. I had to do that. And I just couldn't get. So I'm just happy I got to do what I was able to do with the time I was given for this. And if, life gives me the provision to do more things in this world, then, if it makes sense, I'll walk it. If it didn't, you know what I mean? Then it opened up a different way, then I'll walk that. And we don't know. I don't know. I'm open for it, though.
For sure.
Yeah, I'm open for it.
For sure. You just let God guide you.
That's it. That's
beautiful, man.
Yeah.
My brother, bro.
Thank you.
Thank you for making time, man. These questions, bro. Hell yeah. This was like, more so a conversation for me, man. So I'm grateful for this opportunity, bro.
Hey, man, like, I'm grateful, man. I appreciate you taking time, especially as an artist yourself. You got to be super humble, man, like, because a lot of people won't want to. Yeah. They'd be like, man, it's going to mess up my algorithm. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I'm a rapper, I'm a singer, what am I going to do an interview for? For sure. And the fact that you took the time, you felt something in the music. For sure. Made that time to reach out, touch base, let me know, connect. And just, tell me your truest intentions. For sure. And then, we made this thing happen. And for sure. And that you're sitting here and you're giving it an opportunity. Yeah, this is an opportunity. That's right. So I'm super thankful to you, and I'm super honored. And then all of that flattery, praiseworthy, like stuff you were saying, it's too much. No, but it's too much. But but I appreciate it. No, you know what it is. But the thing is, I am really appreciative. Of course, you know what I mean. Of course. So thank you,
my brother, man. I pray that more people get to hear this album, and it's all good. The questions are done. Yeah. I pray that, we see more from you and that you continue to blossom the way, God intends you to blossom, man. We're going to be here supporting you all the way, man. We're here for you, bro. So I love it, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. But it wouldn't be fair, if I don't at least let you, give a shout out for some of your work too. Hey, just put it into there. Why not?
You want me to shout out myself?
No, yeah. Why
Are
not?
you sure?
Of course, go ahead. Why not?
Should I look at the camera?
Look at the camera, man. This is you.
So my name is San Yaqub. Check out my stuff. SANYAQUB. I almost messed up my own name. Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, whatever it may be. Check out my music. I'm a rap artist. I love poetry, and I'm looking at myself. I'm not even looking here. Should I redo this? I'm looking at myself.
We could cut it and switch it up. Like, no, I can edit it.
Keep it natural. You want to keep it natural?
You want to keep it natural? All right, well, that's what it is.
Follow me, but make sure you follow him first. If you don't follow him first, don't follow me, because then that means you fake. You just hear from me. You hear from him for real. So, yeah, next time I interview you, I'm going to make sure to look at the camera, not here. I got distracted.
No, it's all good, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
My brother, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, we good?
We good.
That's it.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yes.